Hello, good evening or good morning if you're going to watch this later. This is Crossy's Corner, and I have with me the legendary Iztok Cop from Slovenia. Iztok, how are you?
Oh, hello. I'm fine, thank you. Well, considering that I cannot travel around what I would love to do, I already missed that. But well, the season starts in next couple of days. Tomorrow morning, I'm leaving for European, so hopefully we're getting back to, let's say, what we were used to.
Yeah. So before we start, I must just say that Crossy's Corner is supported by Ludum, the training management and performance analysis tool for sports coaches and training groups. And you can start a 30-day free trial by visiting ludum.com. So I was looking up your record the other day, which is a phenomenal record. You've got 4 Olympic medals, including Olympic gold from Sydney, and I think 4 World Championship gold medals, including one in the single. And I know you've got a big board with that because I've seen it on the video, a big board with all those medals on at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Put all the medals in one, let's say big medals in fixed to the part of old wooden boat. So it's kind of a sculpture. Yeah. My friend who's an artist, he made that, So it was in a, let's say, in a good spot until we renovate half of the house, and then we put it on the side in the bottom floor, and now it's still there in the corner, because with the kids growing up, and I need more and more space for my, let's say, fitness studio at home, So that has no proper space at the moment.
Well, let's talk about that. Did I see that you pulled a 6:09 for 2K last year?
Yeah, that was we at this time last year, because I had nothing to do, so we get a group and joined the concept spring challenge. So 8 of us joined the challenge, and so that was my, I could say, only challenge on the York, since I didn't race the York much in my racing days. I didn't like it, but it was fun. It was just challenging and something to do, So since we were locked down then.
Yeah. What was your personal best when you were rowing for the 2K?
5:49.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Sub 5:50 for someone of your size and weight.
Yeah, that was just, I don't know, just under 90 kilos, 88, 87 at that time, something like that. Yeah. But honestly, before I broke 6 minutes on the York, I broke 6:40 in single scull. So I was not an guy in the past.
When did you break 6:40 in the single then?
Oh, that was in, I think, 95. I was 23 then, and 10 kilos lighter than I am today.
So that was the year you won the world singles title.
Yeah. Yes. In Lucerne, I finished 3rd. Janssen was number 1, Miller number 2, and I think we were all breaking the existing world record then. So I was number 3 then. Yeah.
I remember that race as one of the best singles races that I've ever seen, because there was so much happening in it. What are your memories of that day and that race, Iztok?
Tampere, 95. Yeah, I think it was really good race. I'm still convinced today that I could easier win a year before if I would be aware that I'm capable of winning. I was just defending a medal position the whole race, But in 95, there was no fun during the race. I must admit that. I still remember. I thanked him later on. Honestly, thank him. Giovanni Calabrese. He was on my right. And I didn't consider him better than me, And he raced like hell. So I was stuck on him. But after 300-400 meters, I still remember. I said, "Fuck, this is too fast. We cannot go like this, And he was keep on going. I said, no, if he can do it, I can do it. If that would be, I don't know, Janssen or Lange who was in that race, I would probably say, well, you're better than me. I just go off. I cannot hold your pace. So Giovanni kept me in that front row all the time, because we were, I think within 1 second, 5 of us all the time, every time of the race. Yeah, just Halupa went away for the
Luka
crep.
went. Yeah.
Yeah, and so many details I still remember. That's why I'm a bit long. Halupa caught a crep, so we catch up on him, and I still remember. Okay, he died now because I didn't know he caught a crep. So I attacked then. So that's that mental moment. That when you think you're better, maybe you were not. He was just unlucky. But yeah, that got me in the let's say front position towards the end, and then at the end I was lucky at the finish line to get ahead of Janssen. That perfect stroke when you make a move with your bow, So yeah, but it was 4 of us, I think, within a second, and 5 within a second and a half, something like that. So yeah, it was a good race.
I've just put on the screen there. Marco B says Giovanni also thought he could beat you.
Yeah, yeah, but that I was still that young, at that time, that I said, okay, I never lost against you. I'm younger, so I improve more since our last race than you. That simple philosophy that worked in the first few years of my career, especially in a pair. And so losing, that was just perception of somebody you would never let go. No matter what, or when you're in good shape, that winning mentality that I'm sure Radio had something like that, that like no way you can get me, so many times almost a photo finish, but always ahead, once, maybe twice you can say he was lucky, but all the time that's no luck. That just, I think, state of mind. And, still remember a few races in the career that when you're sure, you win for like a fraction, but you're confident and you're sure you're going to win, and at the end, even if it's photo finish, you're 100% sure you got it. So that's these are the moments. Only these are the moments that I miss from racing, nothing else.
And I think you raced Giovanni in the Sydney Olympics as well.
Yes, we were in a double. Yeah, they just showed up for the Olympics. Yeah,
did they?
The last moment. Yeah, that was the combination. I think in the last moment after the World Cup series, I think they set together, and they were quite fast and challenging also in Sydney.
Yeah, they were a fast double. So before we talk about the Olympics, is that singles race the highlight of your career, or is it the Olympic gold in the double, or something else?
Well, I don't know. They're both very high on my, let's say, on my scale, not just because of gold medal, but because how I raced, how I felt, how I raced, how I did, what I did during the race, or we did during the race. Let's say Sydney the whole year, because we were under so much pressure, because we never lost a race before, and finishing second would be complete disappointment, which is sometimes weird, but finishing second would be a great loss. And one of really good races, I would say also Munich World Championships, when we won gold in double, but we came to the championships just hoping that to qualify to the Olympics, because we were really not get the right stroke before the Worlds, and then through the races we build up, and I think on the day of the finals we were both convinced we're gonna get it, and also London, I think we were in good shape, a bit unlucky with the lane, but I think all the results from trainings show that we were in the best shape ever, and that for me that was also a challenge, since I was 40 years old, and but in 10 months we didn't miss a day of training due to a health problem or something. So we really changed our approach, and supported by my doctor, and so we really planned properly, and I think that showed in London. Yeah.
What did you change then? What was your doctor's recommendations?
Well, mostly not in training, but we monitor ourselves a lot more. Before we felt okay, we feel better, we feel worse, but that year we measure our, let's say, body scans. We did body scans frequently, from where she was able to tell either we're dehydrated, tired, fresh, whatever, and then we combine it with the training, and then we just adjust the training. Usually not even telling the coach, that we just easy a little bit, because that's how it works. And well that you walk on the edge, when you prepare for the top level. So I just said one slip and you're off the edge. And sometimes all you need to do is just take it easy for a session or two, and you're back in the business. If you push too hard, you fell off the cliff, and then you can get back together. I think that's why the Olympics are usually full of surprises or disappointments, since many favorites fail because they try to do more and more. And that year was really, that was something that I'm proud. Those were the challenges, not just the result. It was, after Sydney, medal was not the ultimate goal. It was the path, and then the medal was just a confirmation of what we did.
Yeah. What do you remember about that race, Iztok? Did everything go completely just according to plan for you?
Which one?
The one in Sydney, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, more or less. I still remember that I was stressed because because of the jet lag. We didn't work, first few days. And we didn't know what's happening, because whenever we went to training camp on, let's say, overseas, with the time difference, we started in single scull, and you don't feel that, since after a couple of days you're already, kind of back on track. And in Sydney, we were really stressed and under a lot of pressure, and I didn't know what's going on. So we really paced ourselves not to be too nervous. But then through the races, things just fell together to where it was. But I was pretty nervous. I still remember about 10 strokes before the finish line, I can still see that there was some stream coming into the lake under the grandstands. That was the moment when I said to myself, okay, this is it. We did it. So that was, and the relief afterwards, not, just what I was telling earlier, that pressure, also myself, I was fortunate enough that I was in this position once in my lifetime, and I was aware it's probably the only chance in your life, that you're such a favorite for gold medal. So if you missed it, it's a big loss. So it's a huge relief after that okay, we did it, and that's it.
Yeah, I was talking about that with the four that I was in for Los Angeles, and we were strong favourites, and all of us said relief was the first emotion that we felt after the finish line. Did that race, did it change your life at all, the fact that you were Olympic champion? Did it make a difference to you in Slovenia, small country?
Yeah, probably did. I don't know. It did a little bit, yes. I think it was the first gold medal for Slovenia also, was it? Still is a big deal. Then last year, it became September 23rd. It's the National Sport Day, so it's a national holiday. So it made a difference. I think that's something that will be remembered for some time. So that's, and for me a relief that, okay, I achieved everything possible. Now I can, let's say, enjoy, so that's what I was telling you earlier. After that, I could do different things, not being under pressure to win medal or gold medal, but just, okay, doing differently, challenging myself and stuff like that, and making coach more upset than usually.
Yeah. You had quite an interesting relationship with Luka Spik, your partner in the double, didn't you?
Yes, it was never boring, I must say that.
Because he was your junior, wasn't he? And your competitor as well in the single scull. I mean, can you tell the story of how you two got together? Because it was despite lots of things going on, I think. Well,
we always got quite along. Or in the boat, it always worked quite well,
Yeah.
Okay, when we get together, he was 18, 19, I was 27, so it's a huge difference when you are in your life, So, but already as junior, he was pain in the ass on the training sessions, because he was always pushing. He was like a pit bull, grabbed at the stern and never let go, So it was kind of annoying, and it got even worse. But I think it both make us faster. And for me, after several years in single scull, I was I need a refreshment. I just didn't have that eager to race. I was finishing fourth on the Worlds and Olympics 3 years in a row. I I could feel that I can still do better, but it was just something was missing. And then switching to double just for a change, it changed everything completely. It was a new challenge. Luka brought into the boat completely new energy, and it worked. From the first stroke we set together, maybe not very beautiful for the eye, but I could feel immediately that the boat moves. And I remember we did 1 or 2 sessions. One session, on the second session we crashed. In 1997, session crashed, and then we repaired that evening riggers just so we could row, and we left for Pidiluco the next day, and we raced Italians in 97. I think it was a Bagnale and Sartori at that time, so half of the Olympic champion the boat, and I remember that race. We were with them till 1,000 meters, and I was all happy. We were stuck with them. We were following, and then I signaled for a push, and we just moved away, and we won. Like at the end, it seems like easily. I couldn't believe what's going on, and so we were all surprised. But we didn't go immediately into that boat. So Luka finished his junior career, and then we sit up in '99. With almost no training. I served the army, so we raced one World Cup race. We won that one, and then I was stuck in the army year, so just set together. I think 2 weeks before the World Championships, and then, but
2 weeks.
Those weird moments, but those weird moments, I'm still joking that there was no time to go wrong, because at the beginning, when all the pieces get together perfectly, you can break it, not enough time. If you would row, maybe it wouldn't be so perfect, but we won St. Catherine's with the world fastest time then.
Oh wow! Do you remember what that time was?
6:04, yes.
6:04, bloody hell!
Yeah, I think we had all the races sub 3 minutes on 1,000. First 1,000 meter. It was also a fast course. We must admit that.
Yeah. What did you think of now? Thinking about that time, 6:04. I think about the Croatians doing 5:59 on the Bosban. What did you think of them as a double?
Well, they were really good. They're still good in a pair, but I think they work better in a double.
Yeah.
Maybe quad even more. I see them how they row. Huge respect, because they are hard worker. They make every boat work. Obviously, since they are winning basically everything. But they kept that quad stroke. That's what I see. No, not much movement with the body. Not flexible. But double scull was really fast. For a pair, for me, I prefer Italian stroke. Long, but Croatians are faster, and I admit them that, and they are good. Even if they are not the best moving boat, they have that mentality. We are the best, and that's it. Sometimes they just win, and the other crews are maybe not sure that they can get them.
Do you think the standard of the double sculls now is lower than it was when the Croatians were in the event, or is it about the same?
No. I think if I go back to 2019 to Ottensheim with Chinese, Irish, Swiss. Sorry if I forget somebody, but those crews were just Chinese crew. When I saw them for the first time, I still remember. I think it was World Cup in Plovdiv. I noticed how they move the boat, and I just similar than Dutch quad. When I saw them for the first time in Lucerne, Europeans a few years ago, you can just see how they move the boat, and I think those doubles are in very high level. And maybe it's not correct, but I think Croatian would have tougher job in the double now than they might be winning, but it would be more. It's more packed, it's more crews closer together than in a pair. At least that's it. We will see what's going to happen this year.
You mentioned the Dutch quad that a lot of people like and say that's one of the boats they want to watch when they go to the World Championship or World Cups. I mean, what makes that boat so special? What do you like about it?
It all seemed so easy, like there's no pressure in a stroke. I used to row the quad also, also on the Worlds. And I remember also telling the others, and it's like, guys, when you feel when you get a feeling that you're not doing anything, that's it. Then you're doing right, because in the quad is so fast. There's not much pressure on the blade. You just have to keep on moving the boat. Be careful not to stop the boat at the catch. And I just can't explain when I watch them what's the difference. But you can see the boat is just moving one direction. The stern is not sinking, and their movement, you barely see muscles work, because it's so light. But they're, I don't know, not such a big strong guys, but they make the boat run fast. And what I admire that year, they could actually made the move whenever they wanted, any part of the race, and everybody else knew, that they can make a move at 500, 1,000, 1,500, whenever they had that extra speed. They can just move away from the rest of the field and finish the race.
Do you think they're the top boat on the world scene at the moment?
Well, we'll see. It's been 2 years, almost 2 years since, so many things can happen in 2 years. They were still good last year on the Europeans, but it was weird season. So we will see. I hope we'll have the normal season, more races, because what I've seen last year in Poznan, that big nations were slightly advantaged, since they have national competition, or national more national tough races, qualifying races or national races, than the small countries, because many crews came to the Europeans without any serious racing for a year, so they couldn't find themselves they couldn't get into the real racing mood or racing speed.
Yeah, what's happened to the Slovenian team with this year's break that we've had? Have they got any better? Has their level changed at all?
No, unfortunately, even worse. Last year Europeans, we discussed that a lot, since the results on training were far from what they showed. But obviously, that long period without racing, just training, it looks like the last 3 weeks they all went just down. Maybe they were not capable to go through all that program, that it was maybe too tough for them, maybe mentally too hard. But at the end, results were, I could say, almost a disaster. Nobody expected. We didn't expect them to win medals, but we expect them to race. To be in the race at least. Part of the course. But they were almost 20 seconds, double 20 seconds, and some singles 20 seconds slower than on races earlier in the season. So it was something I can't explain, and I think coaches are also a little bit still confused, but I think that's it. That maybe there's a problem, that the coaches are still used to make to work the way we worked, but not everybody's capable to go in the season and through the season on that high level. So they, at some moment, they just crack and they don't perform when they should perform best. So take a step back and say, okay, we need more. We can't do the program we used to do with World Olympic medalists in the past.
What sort of what is the Slovenian training program based on? We had a lot of talk about the influence of Lamura, the Italian, and his training program.
Definitely not Lamura. I think it's still to that Scandinavian Norwegian program. So I would say what's his? Sorry, now I'm embarrassed. I forgot his name. He worked in Italian also.
Not Lars Johan Flodin.
No. Johan is a young guy. He worked with Italians also.
Tor Nielsen.
Thank you. Sorry, Paul, I forgot your name. Step out of my mind. Yeah, huge respect for the guy.
Yeah.
And I think that was Tor Nielsen, or maybe even before that. That kind of training system through the winter, and so that's what my coach collected in early 80s, and we worked similar than that. So
what was the balance you had between work on the land, the weight sessions, and work on the water?
Mostly we were on the lake. Okay, the winters were colder in my days, so let's say from second part of March till end of the season, we were all the time on the water, barely touched the weights, never ergometer over the summer. Nobody entered the ergometer room. In the winter, also not so much of ergometer. We also didn't have all that equipment, but a lot of running, cross-country skiing, stuff like that. So we did a lot of stuff outdoor, and I think that helped us a lot. Mountain up in the mountains, Saturdays, Sundays were usually 2-hour run up the mountains, or when we were alone, we just grab a football and then we play football in, I don't know, half a meter of snow sometimes, that we were all dead at the end. And I think that shaped us up. I also use a bike to get to Bled, about 10 kilometers one way down to the river and up, so not flat. And 360 days a year, I think that was something extra that shaped us up and give some extra to the training. And when I look back, I think that was it. But kids are much more serious today. I don't know what's happening. They do huge volume of training. They follow the program, but maybe that's the problem. They don't have that. What you say?
Sense of fun.
Yes, not just fun, and also I don't know. There's nothing coach should be worried about. Training camps. So they offer training camps. Coach were always headaches, because we made them headaches because we make stupid things. We got drunk. We did all sorts of stupid things. These kids no problem. But I think you need to have that craziness in you. Sometimes you need to be a bit of a bastard. That helps you race. To be more self-confident and in the race. That I think it's also important for racing.
Yeah.
You have guts to attack.
Did you do more training at near a race level speed, do you think, than the guys do today?
I don't know. I think today they do more diverse, let's say, more on a low intensity and more on a very high intensity. They're not in between that high aerobic level, which is killer. And I'm still not convinced which is better. One thing is sure, for your determination and will, that high level aerobic sessions are long. Aerobic sessions are tough, to hold 1 hour on, let's say, heart rate 180 plus all the time, and neck and neck with Luka, that's he was really killer on, let's say, 22, 24 rates, because he had such a long stroke and good stroke, so that was a bitch to hold on with him.
The men's single sculls event, in 2019 just seems, and again in the European Championships in 2020, it seems that the speed at the front, as the gaps at the front have really closed up. What do you think of the event now?
Yes, it's very interesting again. I think last 2 years, I don't know, maybe just me, but I really 2018, 2019, and last year the Europeans, I start to enjoy watching rowing races. Really enjoy watching rowing races. Enjoy sitting on the lake banks and just follow the races, And a single scull is also one of the events that was really, really good to watch. Last year, Europeans, you can never sign anybody off, because there was huge gaps on halfway, 3/4, and at the end, all changes. I was surprised by German guy with his tactics on high rate, and when I saw the start of the race, I said, okay, he's not going to last 1,000 meters with this kind of stroke, but he lasted 1,900 meters, So, but it was really interesting race, and I think it's basically anybody's race at the Olympics, and it's going to be a very, very good race to watch. And I'm still single scull. You can always, there may be some new guy we don't expect, and there are Kiwis, overseas guys, that were not there last year. So we will see. I think it's going to be, like anything else, interesting event and really tight races. Maybe because of the Olympics, a little bit more. Some favorites will fell off like usually, but maybe not so so close together, everybody, but definitely an interesting season to watch.
Yeah. Were you surprised at all that the two guys that were so close in Rio, Mahe, and I know that and Damir I know he qualified, but he's not had the best of times since Rio.
No, he had also lots of problem with injuries. He had, I think, back operations, so that extra year worked really well for him since last year. I think it was in May that he actually sat in the boat since November. First time he was in a boat in May.
Really?
So I think that extra year should work well. I don't know how good shape he's in at the moment, but he's definitely one of the rowers, or the one that when he was in good shape, I like his stroke a lot. I think that Olympic year on Europeans in Rudnice, or Poznan, was Plovdiv. No, Poznan or Rudnice, I'm not sure. But I remember strong headwind. He did 6:45 with his stroke. He's just so strong, and that low rate, 30 up to no more than 32, and he can make the boat move. I raced him, and he's one of the rare guy that beat me in Zagreb. Yes, one is Valen Sinkovic and one is Damir Martin. The only two guys I lost against. Yeah, I did 6:45, I think, or 43 in mid-April in Zagreb, and I lost against each one of them each year, 2 years in a row. With a good speed, but no way. They were faster. So. Yeah, Damir has a really good stroke for single scull.
Do you think he's going to have a good season? He's set up to have a good season this year?
I don't know. I don't have any information about that. I think we will see. I hope he will race at Europeans. I'm not sure.
He's entered, I think.
Yeah. Okay, then. Well, I would like to see him at his best again. When he's fresh, he's really good, but he's struggling if there's a tough competition, which is in single sculls now. That to get to the finals, there's no easy run. Most of the boat classes are now like that. That you have to push hard in quarterfinals, semifinals. So really well shaped guys in really good shape can perform and build up in the final afterwards. And Damir was struggling that way, but if he's in good shape, he's the man to watch, definitely.
You mentioned there about the high rating. I mean, it seems that rating has got higher. What's your view on high rating? Like the more time you put the blade in, the more often you put the blade in, the more you might stop the boat. Compared to, say, someone like Damir Martin, where do you sit in terms of rating?
Well, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, but I think everybody needs to find its own pace. I still can imagine, if I compare a little bit with cycling, when I was also playing now when retired, with that easy gearing and high rating, but it doesn't work. And I talked with Hamish, and Hamish tried that also when he was in cycling, and then he moved back to his a little bit stronger gearing, lower rate, more power. And I think rowing is the same. All his idler, I don't think he can be as efficient as a lightweight, in that high rate. I think long, strong stroke is still his thing. Moving 100 kilos up and down or moving 70 kilos up and down is a big difference. And I don't know. I was watching lightweighters when they gain a little bit of mass, let's say get to 80 kilos, well, by all, I would say they would be stronger, they would be faster, they can eat normally, but obviously that stroke, they're not so successful. And I think one of the things is that the stroke that works with 70 kilo doesn't work when you're 80 kilos. And I don't believe you can do that with 100 kilos. I think you can be more efficient with few strokes lower rate and the longer stroke, and use that. Look at the Mahe, what Mahe did, it's just single stroke was so long that, and that's, everybody needs to find its own way. And it's always, I think, that you don't know what's better, but there's no time to sacrifice season to do high rate and then do low rate or something in between. Just have to follow trust the coach or trust your instinct and find a way that you believe in.
You mentioned already Damir Martin and how much you admired the way he sculls and his length. I mean, if you can think of the people that you raced against or the people that you watch, who for you moves the boat really well, really beautifully?
Now these days.
Well, or or the guys you raced.
No, all the guys I raced. Okay, during my racing, I was unable to watch them, honestly, who would I say? I think Italians are always good at that. I said Damir Martin, single scull. Yuri Hansen was also not rowing for the eye, but when he was in good shape, when he got the feeling, I think he was able to move the boat really, really good. So who else was in single scull or double scull? I would say French were, for example, with French double I raced again. Hardy and
Viadon.
Yeah. They moved boat really good, but when I sat in the boat with one of them, just for, let's say, a few hundred meters, completely different stroke. For me, something I could not row. For me it was too stiff. But yeah, the boat moved. They all moved together. So I think I would say Josi, the coach, the Dutch coach. I like his philosophy.
Josi Verdonk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I don't dare to pronounce this. Josi is enough. When he says there's no perfect technique, because each one of us is individual. You have to find something within your natural movement. When you see, I'm sure you've seen fathers, sons later, decades later, and you can see the same movement. So there's something in DNA that just makes you move. And many times I joke, when me and Luka, when we were winning, that was the best rowing, the best technique. People were saying we start losing, that was the worst technique, but we didn't change that much, but that's how it is, So just copying something, I don't think it's okay. And sometimes two people just can't fit together, So I'm quite fortunate that with Luka, we just click quite okay.
Yeah, Marco has asked, how was it to row with Rossano? Is that Rossano Galtarossa?
He's got inner information. Yeah, we sat together only once. We test something, and we sat together in a pair, not in the scull. We were in Coxley's pair. Yes, in Padua. I went there to test some Filippi's innovation, and we just sat in the boat. And it was perfect, After half an hour, we just said, okay, when is the A final on the Worlds? That was in May. We sat together and said, okay, next time we meet at the World Championship just for the finals. We don't need any practice together. No, it was surprisingly good. I felt comfortable, and he did also. So we moved the boat, and it was nice. And that was after we retired already. So that was 2 years after my retirement.
So you have rowed with a lot of people, I know, but have you rowed in a double with Eric Murray? Was that? Yes. Hamish Bond, was it? Or was it Eric?
It was Eric, yes. Hamish was injured, and they were in training camp at Bled, and we had regatta. Eric was tired of single scull and ergometer, so he said, should we jump into a double? That was the year I took a year off racing that year.
Yeah.
In the spring, I decided not to race since I had other work to do in the autumn. We sat together 2 sessions, and then we raced on regatta in Bled, And I must say I can understand why Per did so well.
Really?
Despite, Hamish is a beast, with good rhythm, but Eric is such a good bowman. So patient, and he moves the boat, and we did, let's say, 3 minutes, he understood my stroke, my movement. So yes, I said until then I was convinced that I can get better partner than Luka. That we really fit together immediately. But Eric was slightly better, and it was really pleasure and joy to row with him. It was really good, and we make he made the boat going fast also.
Wow. So you have also competed, I know, and he's your. Are you each other's best man with Olaf Tufte?
Yes, and we did a couple of races in double, and one time it worked. Okay, I think the first time we were together, we were in regatta, Essen regatta. We raced there, and we won. Essen was traditionally German qualifying regatta, so they were all. Some of them burn out already. You know, that was late May. We won that one. A few years later, we raced in Bled, the World Cup. That didn't work, you know. But the last time we raced at Head of Charles, 2012, and we switched positions. So I was in the bow, and that worked. That worked well again.
Did you win that?
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you did. You had a special relationship with Olaf, which kind of was the building block for the Great Eights that you did.
Yeah. We had a lot of. We somehow connect when we raced in double in late 90s, you know, and we joke a lot. We party together and tease each other. You know, at the beginning, the joke was on him. Then later, the joke was also on me. But that actually gathered a good group of, let's say, scullers, single scullers, that we party together. We organized races. We met at each one's races. You know, have fun. And I'm really grateful for that. I think that's one of the best things I got from rowing, this friendship and that fun. Okay, at the start line, we knew what we have to do, what's going on, you know. And honestly, beating your friend is so more pleasures than somebody you have nothing to do with, you know. After, I think Great Eight was one of the, let's say, maybe a project, you know, that was really. Something new. We enjoyed a lot, and you should say more how it worked at the beginning. I like to say, I think the last time you watched us, that was one of the first outings we had. You know, we did the start at Thames, you know, and we did the single sculler start, you know. So full in, you know, first few strokes, and I like to joke that we moved the river, but the boat was on the spot, you know. But that actually worked but then Mahe said, okay, let's try without any power, just let's try to work together, and actually that moved the boat, and at the end it was quite good. We won the eighth head, and we won Head of Charles that year, a year later, I'm not sure. So it was Head of the Charles. We lost a rudder during the warm-up, so the coxswain steer with the hand in the water, yes, and the inner blades were resting, you know, on the curve. So it was today fun, but then I was really tired at the end.
Yeah. Do you think it could still happen again, the Great Eight from the Scullers?
Well, it did happen later on, I think. But you mean the same crew or no? No, I think 2015 or something they won again with a Sinkovic, with Valent stroking the boat. Mahe was in the boat, I think, and they actually raised the greatest oarsmen. You know, I think Hamish Bond gathered eight rowers. So, and the Scullers won at the end. So I was happy. So actually, what was the teasing? You know, the Scullers make the best rowers, but I shouldn't say that since I started in a pair. So first few years of my career were in a pair.
Yeah. What do you think?
Hey, hi, Julian. Julian is
Yeah, he's. I think it's morning for him in
Canada,
in Vancouver.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, how are preparations? Are you still the chef de mission for the Slovenian Olympic team?
No, that was one-time job. That was 2016, and I think it's tougher now. You know, you don't know what to expect, you don't know what to do, and preparation are probably a lot of hoping, getting ready for maybe even improvisation. I don't know, and I wouldn't look forward to the Olympics in Tokyo, because it's not going to be Olympics we are used to. You know, so. okay, it will be racing for the, let's say, for the top position athletes won't change much since you are focused on that. But there will be no fun, no nothing. Just get in, finish the race, and then get out. That's,
yeah.
For the older athletes, if that's, I don't know, 4th, 5th Olympics, it's no problem. But for those that will be first-time Olympians, I feel sorry for them because they won't feel the spirit, the atmosphere of the Olympics.
Oh, that's really interesting. You sound pretty definite it's going to happen.
Yes. I don't want even think that's not happening, because what I'm afraid, if it's not happening, that okay, the world will go on even without Olympics, but we don't want people to recognize that and then just think, okay, we don't need Olympics. It's the world is still turning, so no, I think it has to happen. And also I can't even imagine being in the athlete's position, not knowing what's happening and what's going to happen. And for example, last year I spoke with Olaf. His plan to retire after the Olympics, had some other things settled already what to do, and at the end it's like another year,
Yeah. Do you think he can retire?
Officially he can, but I don't know if he can get out of rowing, so yeah, he will be involved, I'm sure of that.
Do you think
he won't admit, but I'm pretty sure that he's still happy that he's got an extra year doing what he's good at and what he knows how to do it, and he's in charge there, so that's okay.
When you see Olaf, do you think you could have carried on to Rio?
Well, maybe I could. I just didn't have even before I wanted to do something else, to try something else, because there's actually no chance if you're full-time in rowing. You can try in business, but it doesn't work. So at the end I decided, okay, London after the race, that's it. And then that was a year before I decided if I would win at the Bled, I would probably say that was it a year before. But then I said, okay, I go to London, but that's it. That's definitely it. And when I made that decision, I was okay with that. And a day before the final, I didn't think what's happening the other day. The next day, I had to race. But when it was race, it was one of those reliefs. Yes, okay. I even won a medal, and this is it. Now I can say thank you and goodbye. It was a great time. I'm gonna miss it, but that's it. We have to change the boat now.
Iztok, you've got somebody who admires you as a rowing legend, and you can pronounce her.
Yeah. He's a kayak guy. He's a he's a coach now, and he has to say something nice about me, otherwise I can kick him out of the training center in Bled. So please behave. Now they are also. He's a good coach, and his crews are now also training at Bled, since we have a kayak center also. Kayakers are more successful than rowers in the last few years.
Oh, that's
unfortunately, I must say.
Yeah. What do you think about the changes in rowing, or where do you see the future of the sport? The talk about coastal rowing maybe now for 2028 for Los Angeles, not in Paris. What are your thoughts on the future of the sport?
I'm more open for changes now when I'm retired than I was before. I must admit that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As a chef of mission in Mediterranean Games and later at the Olympic Games, I had a privilege to watch many sports in live, and for me, I put myself into the spectator's position, because in rowing I can never do that. Also some sports that I'm familiar with, it's hard for me to go there. But I realized that many sports, or majority of sports, they adjust the rules to be simple for spectators, easy to understand, and also for the time frame for TV to follow, to schedule. And rowing, I think we can stay on 2Ks. I'm still very much in favor in 2Ks, not considering the K race, which were discussion in the past. I think we can make watching more interesting. I always say if we watch cycling for 4 hours, we watch the screen, nothing's going on, and then commentators make it interesting for us. Maybe we need more data, more data from the athletes, the heart rate, maybe some power meter on the blades also, so we have more stuff to talk about, because it's hard to explain why the boat is moving and what is better, what is not, but stuff like that. And the coastal is, it's a show, also a show, but very demanding. Now I follow, since I work with Filippi, and I was last year very much involved in coastal challenge we organized in Italy. And you can see now, if it was just the athletes or not the best rowers thing 10 years ago, or not even 10 years ago, now it's a demanding sport. It's closer to sailing, I would say, sailing, rowing, and sailing, because you have to study the waves, the currents, stuff like that. No matter how strong you are, you can't work against the nature. So to ride the waves, to know when to build up the pace, when to surf the waves, stuff like that. It will be very tactical. This enduro event, very tactical, very demanding, to know the field, to know the water, and to be in good shape. So it will be an interesting sport, and I really hope it's going to happen, because it's nice. And the beach sprint is also interesting. That's for spectators. That's the spectators think, and also, even though it's very short, you just blew on one wave, and you lose immediately 4 or 5 lengths. So it's when waves are high, it's very interesting, and so it's not so easy. Not just a, let's say, not so good rowers sport. No, it's developing. As soon as it's going to be confirmed as the Olympic sport, I really hope it will be. It will be a different division, and there will be no mixing of athletes. Maybe at the beginning, at young age, but then no, it will be specialization needed very, very much.
That's really interesting. You mentioned there you work for Filippi, and I just wondered, people are interested about changes that happen in boat design, or little innovations, new things that happen with boats. Where are Filippi headed in terms of their research, or have they brought any new ideas out for the Olympics?
Okay. That we were the first one with a sweep back wing rigger last year. Now with 1 year Olympics postponed for a year, I think we're not going to be the only one with that rigger at the Olympic regatta now. But I think the riggers in the last few years are the biggest change, because also the output of the force is better. Everything is more rigid, which I think it's also it results in more injuries with the athletes. So, but we are building stiffer boats, but also stiffer parts in it. We try to make it stiffer, and also new shapes. Every year we send out on the market 1 or 2 new shapes. So maybe it's not seen from the outside, but a lot of work on the inside. What you put on the boat when you see the rigger turn around and stuff like that, you can see the difference. But sometimes also the shape and details in the boat can make that slight difference. Since, like we said at the beginning, the crowd is really packed compared to 15, 20 years ago. I would say the top guys are not so much faster, but then if you were 20 years ago with 10 seconds behind, maybe you were still in the A final or on the edge of the B final. Today there's no D final for you if you're 10 seconds behind. No. So that's making very competitive field, and the details sometimes matter.
What type of boat does Sverre Nielsen scull in? Because he rows a Filippi, doesn't he?
Yes, he's using the same shape than I used to use.
Really?
I still like that shape the most. It's what it's called F14. It's a bit more demanding boat. It offers a lot of speed, but if it demands more feeling. You have to be precise at the catch, not very aggressive. Also gentle at the finish, accurate but gentle. And I think that you can make the boat can run really fast. But if you got it wrong, it might be a slow boat. So it's a little bit more narrow and long boat. But I like that shape from the moment I sat in it, let's say 20 plus years ago. And
Oh,
That's
wow.
how I start with Philippi, and since then I didn't change the boat.
Yeah,
yeah.
So you're going to the Europeans tomorrow. What special precautions have you had to take, or what do you have to do to travel there?
Well, the things are changing from day to day, but I've been in Italy now because of the boat deliveries a couple of times in last month. For now, all I have to do is PCR test, which I did today. Hopefully now just the result came. I hope it's negative. If that happens, then I can travel to Italy tomorrow. I don't know exactly what's the protocol on the field, but I think we're all in the bubble. So official hotel, the venue, and no restaurants.
Yeah.
No restaurants at the evening, which is shame in Italy, you know.
It is a shame in Italy. yeah.
And then test again to come back for Slovenia. If I'm more than 48 hours outside, I need less than 48-hour test, a negative PCR test, to come back home and not to go to the quarantine.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to it?
Yes. Not to the tests, but to the Europeans, yes. Yes, I'm planning to catch the finals tomorrow, finals of the Olympic qualification regatta, singles and lightweight doubles. And then on Friday, it starts racing for European titles.
Yeah.
So, I'm also happy to meet some athletes again and, some friends we meet at the regatta. So, I'm looking forward to that.
That would be great. Julian Balhain had one question, which he put on in terms of, if you can read that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he's a coastal race organizer. That's right. We have new boats in Philippi, especially single scull. We put out a new single scull last year. It came just for that coastal challenge. So there are different shapes, and I hope it won't be too rigid because, FISA's pushing, which I understand, some standard boats, and I'm okay with that, with the racing, that we have a pool of boats on the race so everybody can rotate and you have some standard reading, so especially maybe not for the Olympics when everybody can bring its own boat, or worlds maybe, but otherwise easy gearing, let's say some standard span, you can switch the height and that's it, and you can use your own blades. But then you have boats that are more stable in the waves, maybe a little bit less faster, slower, and then you have more smaller boats. With the fin position, you can also change the agility of the boat. Either better for steering or easy to turn. So all that stuff that you can adjust, something that can be adjusted on the very fast. Just to the conditions and to the tactic of the athletes. I think that's especially for the sprint when you do slalom, and you can make more boat that turns much easier, but then you are vulnerable on the waves also when the wave can just turn you around or sideways and flip you over. So I think that something needs to be developed, and I hope that FISA won't lock too rigid the rules, for that. And I think there's for logistic reasons, I think there's some space that we can reduce the weight and the size of the boat slightly, so we can transport more boats at the same time, and also not that you need now 10-12 people to load the quads on the trailer. So these are the issues that we that work on all sort the complete competitions, we know where are the catches and where we are suffering a lot, but definitely I think we have to move forward with not so much rowing mind, because we have to be open for competition, like I said before, interesting for the athletes, but on the other side I think demanding for the athletes, interesting for spectators and demanding for the athletes, where they need to use let's say fitness and also brains, so very, very challenging races, and I look forward to that, because it's going to be really, really tactical, and I enjoy that, watching that, and see what tactics they chose,
Iztok, before you go, I was just going to ask you, how many training sessions do you do a week now?
Well, almost every day. If I have time to do it. A little bit easier, I go hiking or with my wife and dog. The weather till last week was nice. I did a few kilometers on the road bike already, so I like to go outdoor. But I'm almost never in the boat since it takes a lot of time, and rowing is something I try to avoid because I can't switch to that recreational mode. It's still buoy speed and of course 20 or 24 Ks, otherwise I don't go out, and then I'm wasted and I can do anything that day. So also ergometer, rowing on ergometer, that monitor kills me. On the bike erg is okay, I can do easy pedaling, some sprint, some bursts in between, but ergometer in the boat is still I needed 3 years to lower my speed limits, for 4 seconds to what I was when I was, to what I was when I was racing. So that I could do more than half an hour session because I didn't let go, and then after half an hour I couldn't do anything else. But I try to. I like good food, and I like good wine. So beer occasionally. So. I'm not the diet guy. I like to work hard so I can enjoy afterwards. So that's it.
So Iztok, I thank you very much for coming on Crossy's Corner. I wish you a safe journey to Varese, and as safely meet as many rowing friends as you can. And if you see anyone that I know, because I'm doing the commentary from back here in the UK. So I can't travel out there, but thank you very much for coming on Crossy's Corner. You've been fantastic. We'll end the live part of the broadcast now.
Thank you for joining me, and I'm going to miss you in Varese. So I'm glad we met tonight.